Sounds good.
Tennessee Tech head coach Bobby Wilder, the team 21-9 victors at EIU. They're going to step out of conference play this week. Kentucky on the schedule in Lexington. Coach, thoughts about the team, and then we'll go to some questions.
Very excited to get this win, Kyle, on the road in the league, 21-9 at Eastern Illinois. Have tremendous respect for Chris Wilkerson. For those that don't know, my son Drew, who is now currently the starting center on our team here at Tennessee Tech, played for Chris in 22-23, was his starting center. Had a fantastic experience. Chris is not only an outstanding human being, but a very good football coach. This is a well-coached team that he coaches. So I'll always be grateful to Chris. Tremendous respect for Chris, his staff, their players. Eastern Illinois has the number 2 ranked defense in the league overall. Their quarterback, Cole LaCrue, is a very good player. He's rushed for over 500 yards. So there were some challenges in this game. We started the game up 14-0 after the first quarter, 14-3 at the half. We dropped 2 deep touchdown passes on consecutive series. We missed a field goal at the end of the half. So what could have been a 31-3 game was 14-3 at the half. There wasn't any scoring in the third quarter, and part of that was we had 2 turnovers on our offense, and Eastern just kept battling us. We played excellent defense. I was really pleased overall with our defense. We scored a touchdown in the fourth quarter. That's our 5th defensive year, which leads the nation in defensive touchdowns. Theron Gaines, who was named the defensive player of the week, scored a touchdown. And overall, the penalty situation much better. That had been an issue for us. We only had 2 for 20 in the game. We were good on third and fourth down, both offense and defense. So very, very excited, Kyle, to get this win, to get to 10-0, which has never been done in the 104-year history of Tennessee Tech. As I told the players, they made history with this win. Only one other Tennessee Tech team, the 1972 team, has actually won 10 games. So they tied that team with this win, and there's a lot to be proud of, a lot to be pleased with, and we'll stay focused on the process of winning. Just very excited to get this win at Eastern Illinois.
Yeah, I wanted to start first the defensive touchdown that Theron scored late. Like, what is it about this team that puts itself in the right spots to make big plays to score touchdowns?
Good scheme, good players, and the rotation we have. And what I mean by that, Kyle, is Chase Mumar, our defense coordinator, our defensive staff, do a very good job with the scheme each week, putting the players in the best position to be successful. And then we have very good players on defense here. Theron Gaines played defensive end for us last year, and we moved him into the Mike linebacker position. He's 235 pounds and he runs like a safety. He's one of the most instinctive players I've coached. So we just have so many players that are adept at the scheme, that are really good football players. And then Kyle, we play on average 30 players each week on defense. So we're constantly rolling players through. And you look at our last 4 games, Kyle, we've outscored our opponents 58-20 in the fourth quarter. That's a significant advantage, and I truly believe a lot of that has to do with our depth that we have, how well conditioned our players are, from Chris Laskowski, our strength coach, who's elite. He's one of the best in the country. But that scheme, and then the talent we have in playing a lot of players has really helped us perform well on defense this year.
What are your thoughts about having a non-conference game in the next to last week of the regular season?
Hate it. I mean, just absolutely hate this. Don't I'm really bothered by the fact we have to do this. The schedule was done before I was hired. There wasn't a thought process in this scheduling that Tennessee Tech might be competing against Tennessee Martin in the last week for the conference championship. I've always felt like if you have to play these games as an FCS program because you need the money, and that's why people play them, it's better off playing them early in the year, similar to what Martin did. Martin ended up having 3 of these games. At the time when they scheduled Missouri State, I don't believe Missouri State was FBS at the time, but they are this year. They transitioned. So Jason played Oklahoma State. He played UTEP. He played Missouri State on the road early. They start 1-4, but he always does this. He survives. His team rebounds, and now they're hot, and they're doing this at the end of the year on a winning streak right now, and they put themselves in position at 5-1 in the league. Where if they beat Charleston Southern this week, we play them next week at Tech for the automatic bid for the conference championship. And I'd much rather be playing a league game right now than preparing for an SEC football team. And did some research on this, Kyle. How about this? There's been 62 FCS versus P4 matchups this year, 62 total. The FCS is 0-62 and been outscored 50-9. And that's the gap now. That's the gap you're looking at with revenue share. We've estimated their revenue share from what we can read, find out is in that 11 to 12 million range. So it's a difference between that caliber SEC and the FCS. Plus, you look at the SEC, they've got 9 teams in the top 25. So, Kentucky's 4-5 playing against the best teams in the country. So to answer your question, I'm pissed about it. I don't like it. It's awful, especially at this time of the year, having a 10-0 football team that's focused on competing for the OVC championship.
So then how do you going into this game, then how do you take that and prepare your team to play against this Kentucky squad?
I've been in these matchups before. I was an assistant at the University of Maine. This was back before RevShare. We played at Mississippi State and beat them 9-7. I was at when I was at Old Dominion in 2018. We were 30-point underdogs at home against Virginia Tech and beat them. You have to have a plan that everything has to happen right for you. You need turnovers. You need situations to go your way. You've got to be able to control the ball. You can't give up too many explosives. And I equate it, Kyle, to the movie Rocky. If you look at Rocky and Apollo Creed, Rocky survives early in the rounds and then he builds some confidence, and then all of a sudden there's doubt on the other side. Now, obviously, that's a fictional movie, but the point about it is you have to somehow survive early in the game and stay in it. You can't get yourself blown up. And the biggest concern I have, Kyle, and I felt this last year when we went to Georgia when they were number one, is just the difference in size, the difference at the line of scrimmage. That's where these matchups now, FCS P4, really jump out at you, is at the line of scrimmage. So trying to survive early in the game in those situations, and then having a plan that if we're getting blown out in this game, we've got a big game next week at home against Martin. So philosophically, we can't let Kentucky beat us twice.
Is there and more a little bit more specifically on Kentucky? They've won a couple games in a row now. Like, what have you seen from them and their offense and defense?
Yeah, really, really impressed with the quarterback. Cutler Boley came in earlier in the year, and now he's starting to find a rhythm, which happens with younger quarterbacks. He's fifth in the SEC in completion percentage at 67%, which is impressive with that. They're first in the SEC in terms of fewest penalties, fewest yards, which you expect out of a Coach Stoops team. That's what they do. They play smart football. They're very adept at the line of scrimmage. For example, 2 weeks ago they beat Auburn 10-3. They can play that type of game, and then this past week they blow out Florida at home 38-7. They take advantage of turnovers and the young quarterbacks playing good football. So you can see the progression through what they've done. They had a really hard stretch of Georgia, Texas, Tennessee. That's such a hard stretch that they played and lost those 3 games, actually lost to Texas in overtime. So they do such a good job coaching their guys. They know who they are. They know what their system is. Coach Stoops knows exactly what he wants to do at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. They play really good special teams, and they don't get a lot of penalties. So that makes it challenging in a game like this where you need some help to be competitive, and they're not normally a team that offers any assistance.
Well, Coach, appreciate your time this morning. Best of luck this weekend, and then we'll talk to you again next week at this time.
You got it, Kyle. Appreciate you.